condenser fan motor's journey from Vietnam to Tyler, Texas, and the journey ends here in central North Carolina. Alright guys, we're going to get this condenser fan motor replaced in this Trane 16 series heat pump. It's got a variable speed condenser motor in it. The plug in here was melted, had some burnt spots in it. The motor was going on and off, so we're going to take our Vietnamese made condenser fan motor and put it in our American assembled Trane system. Anyway, hopefully this works out okay, because I did not put the SD card in my camera for my GoPro, so I'm doing this one over the phone. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, let's see what we're talking about here. So this harness on this thing just plugs together. I guess if you can see right there, there's a little burnt spot in one of our high voltage wires right there where my thumb is. I don't know how well you can see it with the phone, but anyway, something is awry in the line voltage circuit in this motor, so we're going to swap it out. So we cut that out and just bypass and wire nutted those two wires together to bypass that. Yeah, he left the disconnect in. Get that out. But anyway, so this has got basically a ECM condenser fan motor in it. So pushing the contactor in just starts the compressor. This motor needs a 24 volt call. I mean, it's not a two-stage system, it's not an XV system, so the point of putting that motor in just a regular heat pump unit, I don't know, there's no EV in it or anything like that, so it is what it is. So we didn't get a new harness, so we'll end up wire nutting that wire back together, I guess, on this. I don't know if I can, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to get the plug back in there, obviously, so we're gonna end up cutting that back off the new fan motor and wire nutting it back in like that as well. And hopefully there's not, I may end up wire nutting all these wires together and getting this plug out of here altogether, just to be safe, because there's a little discoloration there. I don't know, we'll check that when we get the motor out and get the new one in. But anyway, let's get started. A little mushy out here, it rained, so we have mud. So I'm going to move everything over here, and maybe that helps things a little bit. We'll get this fan motor swapped out. Yeah, for whatever reason, this has an ECM motor in it. Not sure why. I mean, it's just a, well, it's just a 16 series XR. Yeah. So, might just put a split capacitor motor in it. I don't know. At this point, it doesn't really matter now, does it? Oh, how lucky. Comes right off. Let's get our Vietnamese motor. Out and take a look. Sometimes these new motors will come with new, I think the XV sends it, and it already has. Yeah, it's already going to have the liquid tight on it because this plug won't fit back through here if you try to pull the wire out. So it should and it does. So they send the new motor with the liquid tight on it, so you'll pull the whole thing out of here. Little bag, four new screws. As everybody knows, most of the Trane motors, a lot of them anyway, instead of using nuts, they put those 1/4-inch screws. I'm not far from the RDU International Airport, so evidently she's right in the flight path. So I'm guessing we're going to hear a plane from time to time. The Trane uses these 1/4-inch screws to hold their motors in. Not worried so much about taking them out, but when you put them in, you want to be kind of easy and not strip them out. Like I said, we have a new motor and new screws, so I'm not gonna stress too much over these old ones. I may keep those just so I have a few extra ones if I were to ever drop one somewhere. I'll put them in my little screw pouch, a little box where I keep extra screws. So that's it. That motor's out. A new one in. The drain hole is already unplugged, and that needs to go in there that way. So we'll run this through, run our liquid tight through. Go in here and make sure it's on there real good. And grab the box real quick. I'm going to close it back up. We'll punch a hole in the middle of the box for this shaft. And then what I'm going to do is flip this thing upside down. Set it on that box temporarily to get my screw holes lined up and put the new screws in. started. Take my nut driver and get them the rest of the way down and snug, just to ensure that I'm not stripping anything out, because if you go in and you wring that thing out, I mean, it screws into the back side of the motor. I'll show you in a minute. The screws are soft, that metal's a little soft, but they basically self-tap when you put them in there. And if you get on there with an impact or a high-power drill and you're just grinding that thing down, you strip it out and your motor is going to wobble and you're going to have a loose connection. There we go. Let me pop that out just a hair. Deeper. There we go. Okay. It's like a rubber grip on this thing. I was wanting to skip a little bit. And that was that new version of the 11-in-1 that everybody loves so much. Well, I took this and just added this to it. You guys remember this one, the good old 11-in-1 that everybody was touting? Oh, it's so great. It does such a good job. Well, there's the few times that I've used it, now the grip is skipping around when you get to turning it. See that? So the grip is starting to spin on it. So think twice before you go out and get that good old Home Depot Klein 11-in-1. It's already showing that it's just not holding up very well. So I will get my other old handle that I had and go back to using it, and then I'll just that thing. I spent $20 for basically bits with a handle on it that doesn't work very well. Get that out of the way. And we'll get the fan blade back on. And like I said, I have to go turn the thermostat on. This motor has to have a 24 volt call to run. Of course, I can take 24 volts off the defrost board if I want to and jump it. I need to check the charge on it as well. So we will run it as it is intended to operate. Get our cover back on here. Goes that way. One of these always sits a little closer to the outside edge. I think maybe it's that one. And it snaps on. There we go. Alrighty. And I'll wipe the mud off of this thing when I get it finished up. So let's go back around here with the camera. top back on. Yeah, guys, that Klein 11-in-1 turned out to be just awesome. Maybe it was made in Vietnam as well. I tell you, some of these Trane units are getting to be as bad as Goodman's. Trying to get the tops go back on and everything to overlap like it's supposed to. All right, there we go. Alrighty, so we are going to, don't have a choice with that wire. I'm going to have to cut it and wire nut it. So where are we at? Brown wire. Brown wire. Alrighty. And I'll get it plugged up and we'll go inside and turn it on. Everything else wires up right. And the plug only goes together one way, so blue to blue, ground to ground, black to black. And back over here, yellow to yellow. There's no white being used. And those two are bypassing the plug and wiring nutted together. So let's see if this fixes our problem. I'm gonna go in there and turn that thermostat on real quick. All right, guys, got the thermostat back on. Got some gauges hooked up to it. She is. I know these videos always make these fans look like they're spinning backwards and spinning very slow, but I assure you it's not. I don't know if distance has anything to do with that, but that motor is actually spinning that direction, and it's spinning that way very fast. It's at full speed. So there, I had a comment on another one I did one time. Somebody said, "Whoa, your fan's spinning backwards." No, it's not. That's what video recording does from time to time, especially on these iPhones. So the motor is not actually spinning this way, standing here as I look at it, aside from this camera. It's spinning the right direction, and it's running wide open. You can hear it. So that's just a product of video recording. So before you start telling me I put the fan blade on backwards, it's not. It's the video. So that motor's running full speed that way, not that way. It just appears to you that it's going backwards in that way, real slow. It's not. Or my damn head pressure would be way higher than 225 right now. So this unit's running a 109 basically with a 15 superheat, 225 with a 7.2 subcooling. The rated subcooling on this unit is always on the sticker, so look for it before you start saying, "Oh, I'm gonna put about 10 to 12 degrees subcooling on it." When you look at a Trane, find the sticker, and it tells you right there 8 degrees plus or minus 3. The newer models don't say plus or minus 3 anymore, so I get it as close to the number as I can, but the unit has the subcooling on it. So there you go. Anyway, we're all done here. Thought I might have to add a little refrigerant to it. I wasn't sure, but if you let these things, always let these units run about 15 minutes. And the guy that was here that found the motor said he thought it was low. I think it was just because the unit was acting up, because the fan was shutting on, shutting off, shutting on, shutting off. Lockout, it was on lockout. So it is what it is, but I actually didn't need it. But anyway, the fan was spinning backwards. Whoever that smart ass out there is that was thinking it's backwards, it's not. My head pressure would be a whole lot higher than that. Now it's only 65 degrees out here. It's about 72 in the house. So those pressures are pretty good for that. I'm not gonna mess. That's a 7 out of 8. I'm leaving it where it's at. And we're gonna call this one the job done. Got my, where I had it flipped over in here, there's mud over here where I was working in the grass. So I always try to leave the unit looking the same or better than I found it. We'll wipe this mud off of it and get it cleaned up. But other than that, guys, that's it. That's how you replace a Vietnamese condenser fan motor in a Trane condenser. Like, subscribe, appreciate the guys that have. I got to start researching how I'm going to do this giveaway. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. They're only about 10 away right now. I didn't know it was going to creep up that quick. I've only been doing this like 3.5 months. So I appreciate the guys that have watched and subscribed and liked and commented and all that good stuff. And kind of already have an idea what I want to do for a giveaway. I just need to figure out how to do it where I don't get ripped off. Somebody says there's somebody who they're not. I want to figure all that out. I don't know. I'm going to do a little research, but we'll get that figured out in the next couple of weeks. And we will get that giveaway done. Said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching, and enjoy your weekend. It's Friday afternoon here, about 3 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, hell, it's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock, and I'm in Durham, North Carolina. It's our little Chicago, basically, as far as crime and murder rate. Anyway, guys, if you're ever in Durham, North Carolina, be careful. Look to your left, keep your head on a swivel. Anyway, guys, like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.